I noticed that a lot of the topics, I actually can't see the topics very well this way. That's okay. From the topics you chose, I realized I think we have been quite successful in our approach in this class. So this is only my tentative schedule. We can still negotiate who should go first, who should come a little later. Basically, let me go through all these topics you've chosen. I think these 3 topics are quite related, whereas the next 3 are closely connected together. I think the group led by Liang Yici, tell me if the leader's name is not right, because I'm not sure who is the leader. I just pick whoever, because you have several people in one group. When I look at all your proposals, sometimes I couldn't decide who is really the leader of this group. I just put names randomly there. I assume these are the leaders of the groups, okay? So in Liang Yici's group, they're going to talk about text message. In other words, how do you know this is the murderer's text message? Okay, how can you tell if this is somebody's unique style when someone is texting? Is that correct? Yes. So it's a murder case, but it's a forensic linguistic case, an excellent case. I would like Liang Yici and her group member to present first, followed by Jean and, oh, yeah, Stone is here. Jean and Andy and Stone is the next group. They're going to talk about C.C. McDonald. So that case is, I think it's related to gender and race discrimination, if I interpret it correctly. That's their concern. I think on the same day, Cai Yirong and Huang Weijie also want to talk about some cases, although they haven't really identified exactly the case is. But I think you want to talk about cultural differences on the judge's decision. They are yet to come to a final case, but these 2 groups have very similar interests, so I put you 2 together. And on this day, Professor Shi Huiling is going to come to visit on the 6th. So she can also give you feedback after listening to your presentations. All right. Next, this group is quite unique because the 4 group members haven't really decided on the final topic yet. Dzogchen wanted to talk about Mad Bomber, so it's related to phonetics and phonology. Remember our case on New York bomb threat caller? I think the case Dzogchen is interested in is probably related to a similar case like that. Although he hasn't completely decided because he still wants to work with his group members, but his group members have various interests. They haven't really come to a consensus. For example, ED is interested in some kind of conflict in a family due to relationship problems. So there are some kind of emotional, relational conflicts in the situation, but ED hasn't really decided exactly what topic he wants to pursue. I'm not quite sure what You Jing wants to work on. He has some vague idea, but not really completely decided. So this group, I'm not sure, but I just put Zobata's topic here because it's well elaborated and he has a very clear plan. So I assume this is what the group wants to work on. Okay, then the next three topics are really closely connected, and I'm quite excited about it. Okay, I'm excited about all of them, but when I see the relationship among the three groups, that's especially exciting. You can see the three cases are related to trademark infringement. On the 20th, Professor Zheng Jingjing, law professor, is going to come to visit our class. So she can give some feedback on this group. Well, I didn't do this on purpose. I place them according to the relationship with each other and how it might flow better in the course presentations. But on a certain date, certain professor happens to visit our class. I don't know if it's good news or bad news, but I hope you will enjoy other experts' feedback. Okay, so that's my tentative schedule. If you disagree, if you have other better plan, we can negotiate and let me know how to rearrange my schedule. So I have some reminders here. Number one, please send me the reading material for the case. It can be a PDF file of the reading, it's a good summary of the case, or some kind of hyperlink. Okay, so we can click on it and read about the case. If you can give me the reading material 3 days before your presentation, I can upload it on our e-course, and then we can read about it before we come to our Thursday class. Okay, so in other words, Liang Yici's group has to do a little more work ahead of time because your group is the first. And then, during the 30-minute presentation, you are in charge. So you can follow the example I set, or you have something more creative, more innovative. Just be my guest. I want you to present your case according to your needs and your interest, and show your best. And finally, during that week, our written assignment is based on the case you selected, you presented. That's why we need to read about it ahead of time. And when you present it, instead of me presenting it, it's equally good. You are going to show your classmates the case, and then I can help you design the written assignment instructions. Then you can write about it. Basically, you summarize the case you heard, and then you contrast what you learned before and after class. And maybe we have other activities. If we did it in class, we can incorporate it into your written assignment. So that's my tentative plan. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. Is this a reasonable plan? Would you like to modify it? Would you like to revise it? Let's go back to our schedule. This is tentative. You can see some groups really are very small. Some are very large, right? There are two big groups. And I think Cai Yirong and Huang Weijie's group is really the smallest. Only a pair, 2 people in one group. I'm not sure if you can join other groups. It seems to me they're all set. But just in case you see the topics which are related to your interest or something, you can shift. But also it depends on whether the group says okay or not. All right? Okay, do you have any suggestion? I'm open for any suggestion. This is only tentative. Perhaps Liang Yici can give us some feedback because your group will be the first.
I'm not sure whether or not we should present all the details of the case.
You're not sure what?
Whether or not we have to present all the details of the case.
Well, you know, you cannot present every single detail of a case. There's no chance, right? You only have 30 minutes. So you need to choose, just like when I presented a court case, I didn't present everything. I have a focus. You do too. What do you want to tell us? What is the biggest lesson you have learned, or the most interesting thing you think we need to know? What's the most controversial issue here that has room for discussion? So, you know, you only have 30 minutes, you have 3 members. How would you like to organize, you know, the group so that each person can participate, contribute equally? Okay, Michelle?
Our case on Yahoo, because it's a lawsuit in China, so our data is almost in Chinese. So you just mentioned that we have to upload the PDF to the e-course to let other classmates to preview it. But ours is in Chinese, so do we need to translate it in advance? Or?
Okay. How did I handle the situation when I had example in Chinese? What did I do in the previous cases? Do you remember? If I presented a video clip or something in Chinese, what did I do?
You summarize it in English?
Yeah, but I also provided some links in English from Taipei Times or CNN. You know, there are other sources. So in other words, those who can't read Chinese, you always have English version, a link or something we can click on so we can read about it. So that's really not an issue. You know, if the Yahoo case is also discussed in English, so we can read about it in English. But you can add the Chinese version for those who appreciate reading it in Chinese too. So you can have 2, you know, extra reading. But English is really the fundamental one. Okay? Anything else? Yes. So
how many pages should be the written assignment?
The what?
How many pages should be the written assignment?
The written assignment is
Yeah.
still the same thing, 300 to 500 words. So in other words, instead of for me to decide on the case, this time you decide on the case, but we will follow the same procedure. We'll write about it, discuss it in class, and write about it later. But you don't have to write it for 10 pages. 300 words should be sufficient. Okay? Yes, Jean?
I want to ask, actually, the thing in this work is what to summarize or depend on our case.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Say that again.
Our topic actually is a self-defense, but in my proposal, I see it as a gender and race discrimination.
Oh, because I didn't really know what topic to put there. You know, I interpreted your interest based on the 3 proposals. I thought you are interested in gender and race discrimination. Your case is on C.C. Macdonald.
Yes.
Yes. But if I put C.C. Macdonald, the rest of us would have no clue. That's why I put, you know, an interpretation of the case here. Anything else? Well, it's crystal clear. You all agree with my plan. You all think it's reasonable? Right? Okay. All right, if you think so, then we'll just follow this plan. Now it's no longer tentative, it's finalized. Let's use this as our plan for the rest of the semester. Okay? All right, it's very easy. Okay, why don't we just take a break for 5 minutes, because I've come to a stopping point before I move on to the 2 chapters. Let's take a break and rest a little bit to refresh our mind.